It's the start of the baseball season. Everybody's thinking about spring training games, and those start in about 9 days for the Arizona Diamondbacks. And in getting ready for today's show and in getting ready for the baseball season, I'm always digging for storylines or things to keep an eye on. And we've already told you this week about the bullpen situation, who's going to be the closer, and that's something to keep an eye on. We talked about how the Diamondbacks are a better baseball team, at least in my opinion, than they were a year ago. But I do think there is a conversation that needs to be had about one player in particular on this team. And that player just so happens to be the youngest player in the team's lineup. And he also happens to be the most important player for this team. Because there is nobody that would argue the importance of Corbin Carroll to the Arizona Diamondbacks. And Corbin Carroll right now, according to Fangraphs and their projected opening day roster, 24 and a half years of age for Corbin Carroll. He is the youngest member of the Diamondbacks starting lineup. Younger than Gabby Moreno, younger than Geraldo Perdomo, younger than Josh Naylor, younger than Jake McCarthy, all those guys under the age of 30, younger than Pavin Smith, who's under 30 as well. He is the youngest member of the Diamondbacks lineup. Let's remember that when we try to add the right context to last year. Last year was a bad year for Corbin Carroll. His first half struggles, a large part for why the team struggled. This team thrives on chaos on the base paths. They thrive with Corbin Carroll's ability to hit doubles, to get on base, to turn singles into triples, to turn doubles into triples, to put teams in uncomfortable spots. The stolen base was a lost art for a really long time. It's slowly coming back, and Corbin Carroll is at the forefront of that. But you can't be agents of chaos. You can't have craziness on the base paths unless you have guys on the base paths. And so Corbin Carroll, they tried almost to a fault to get him going, leaving him in the leadoff spot. Series after series, game after game, trying over and over again to just see if he could work through the swing problems, to see if he could just find it and be that guy that we all knew he could be, that we've seen him be, that he was in 2023 when he hit 285. He had an on-base percentage of 362. He hit 25 home runs, stole 54 bases. That's the guy we wanted to see. That we wanted to see Rookie of the Year Corbin Carroll. And in his second full year in the big leagues last year, he struggled. He still ended with 22 home runs. He only fell 2 RBIs shy of his career mark in 2023. But he only hit 231. He only stole 35 bases. He got it going in the second half. But a large part of why the Diamondbacks struggled early, didn't have a whole lot of healthy starting pitching, but weren't able to fall into their offensive identity. Corbin Carroll struggled to start the year. Eugenio Suarez struggled to start the year. I mean, remember, there were real conversations being had about DFAing Eugenio Suarez and sending Corbin Carroll back to the minor leagues. Those were conversations we were having about a team that ended up winning 89 games and barely missing out on the playoffs. 2 mainstays of their lineup last year, and 2 guys that are mainstays for their projected lineup this year. One, we were discussing, does he need to go back to the minor leagues? And the other, we were saying it might be time to DFA him and get him off this roster. This team is going to go as far as Corbin Carroll takes them. They are built with pitching. They are built with run prevention. They are built on the backs of Corbin Burns, of Zach Gallen, of Merrill Kelly. That is where this team is going to succeed the most. But if they are going to be good offensively, remember, they were one of the best offenses in the league last year. Despite all the problems I just outlined for you, they were still really good. They turned it on in the second half. But that offense is only going to go as Corbin Carroll goes. Their identity as an offense is Corbin Carroll. The way that he plays. His skill set, stealing bases, hitting doubles, having 20 home run power, stealing 50 bases, being able to draw walks, having pop, playing good defense. That is what Diamondbacks are in a nutshell. And Corbin Carroll, the guy that they signed to a long-term contract well before he was Rookie of the Year, well before he became the leadoff leader of this team. Well before all of that, we all knew that Corbin Carroll was the future of the Arizona Diamondbacks. Well, the future is now. Their identity is Corbin Carroll. But you know what? That's what makes me so confident about this team this year. You're going to bet against a 24-year-old? You're going to bet against a guy who's entering only his third big league season? He had a down year last year, still stole 35 bases, drove in nearly 75 runs, and hit over 20 home runs. That's a down year for Corbin Carroll. If that's the worst that we see of Corbin Carroll, we're going to be just fine here in Phoenix. We're going to be just fine. Sophomore slump, opposing pitchers figuring out a hole in Corbin Carroll's swing. It's really hard to make adjustments at the big league level when you're young. It's really hard. If other big league clubs find out a weakness for you, they're going to exploit it and exploit it and exploit it. And the noise just grows and grows and grows. And you're getting asked about it every day. Slumps are so easy to come by at the big league level when you're young and teams find weaknesses on you. It's all about the counter adjustment. And I fully expect with what we saw in the second half and the way Corbin Carroll conducts himself, and I bet you start hearing about the work he did this offseason, you are going to see more of the 2023 Corbin Carroll than you are the 2024 Corbin Carroll. And if that's the case, if that guy is setting the table for Ketel Marte, if that guy is setting the table for Josh Naylor and Lourdes Gurriel and setting the table for this lineup, then what was one of the best run-producing offenses in Major League Baseball last year is going to still be near the top of that list because they have a guy who is an agent of chaos. They have a guy who can create runs, can manufacture runs, can turn a single into a triple where now a sac fly brings in a run. And every extra run that Corbin Carroll is able to steal over the course of the season is going to lead to more wins for the Arizona Diamondbacks. Notice how we've talked about this team twice today, and I haven't talked about Shohei Ohtani and Mookie Betts and Freddie Freeman and Yamamoto and Sasaki and Glasnow and Snell. Notice how I'm staying laser focused on the team at hand because this team's pretty good. This team's really good. This team has a good manager. This team has a good young core of players. Corbin Carroll, not even 25. Gabby Moreno, 25. Geraldo Perdomo, 25. Jake McCarthy, 27. Josh Naylor, 27. Pavin Smith, 29. They got Alec Thomas on the bench. He's not even 25. Blaze Alexander, not even 26. And don't look down, but Jordan Lawler is just lurking. It was a different kind of offseason than we expected from this team, but it was one that set them up short and long term. And the most important guy in all of that is Corbin Carroll. So the future for this team is bright, but so is the present. Because I expect Corbin Carroll to be more like the 2023 version. The projections also say that he's going to be more like the 2023 version. So as he goes, the Diamondbacks are going to go. If he struggles, this team is going to struggle. If he is thriving, this team is going to thrive. And this team is going to be one of the best offenses in the league if he is thriving the way he did in 2023. He's already shown it at the big league level. He showed it in his rookie campaign. He showed it in spurts in the second half last year. Now it's about making those adjustments and having a really awesome third year in the big league level. I'm ready to go, man. I think this team's going to surprise some people. I've been telling buddies that I think two things can be true. That I think the Diamondbacks are going to make it really difficult for the Dodgers, and that the Dodgers can still break the Mariners record and win 117 regular season games. I truly think both things can be true. That's how I view this season right now. The Diamondbacks, I think, are the ultimate thorn in the Dodgers side for so many reasons. They've owned them during the regular season recently. I think they're a better team than they were a year ago. I think they match up in all the right ways. I'm ready to go. For those of you who think the Dodgers are bad for baseball, get ready, because I think the Diamondbacks are bringing it this year.